We're at Trio Crops in New York City celebrating the release of the new album from Testament. This is Alex Skolnick. How are you, man?
Hi. Good to be here.
Are you excited about finally unleashing the dark roots of Earth?
Yeah,
He's excited.
it's exciting. It's an exciting night here in New York. And to answer your question, yes, very excited. It's so good to have it done. A lot of work goes into these things.
Of course. And why don't you take us into a production process when you guys started writing songs to the completion of the record?
Oh, it's an incredibly long process. I think we started writing for this a couple years ago. It's taken about 2 years. Part of the reason it took so long was that we were on tour a lot of time, and every time we would designate time to work on the record and wrap it up, some other tour would come up and just get in the way. And we're just not a band that can focus on recording and touring at the same time. We're really good with one or the other. They're very different mindsets. So every time a tour would come up, it would delay things more. But at the same time, the touring kind of energized us. I think it helped us focus on live shows and really got us focused on what would work as far as playing to a live audiences. So a lot of these songs were written with the fresh feeling of being in front of a live audience. And I think that created a really good energy.
And with that said, so you guys are all very busy with your different, when you're not doing one thing, you're doing another thing. Do you guys still get together in the room to start writing music, or you send each other ideas via like the internet or any technology like that?
It usually starts with the internet. I live on the East Coast. They live on the West Coast. So we'll send ideas back and forth. Some ideas get accepted, some ideas don't. I remember I sent one idea, and the response from Eric was, that would be a great riff for Guns N' Roses. But then, when he likes something, then it's ready to go to the next phase where we try to work on it and turn it into a song. And then even then, it might not make it. We just might not be able to get it to the point where it's a whole song. Or we may even get to a whole song, and then Chuck's not feeling it. So in order for a song to pass the test and get to the point where everybody feels good about it, it's really this long, drawn-out process. But there's a pretty good chance it's going to be good, at least.
Right. So you guys are a very diplomatic band, you would say?
Not necessarily, no. But in the end, it's almost like a sculpture that we all chisel it, and we don't always agree on stuff, but usually at the end, the result sounds like this band, and then as long as it has our sound, and if everybody in the band can live with it, then chances are the fans will like it, and so far the fans really seem to be liking this.
Right, so far the response is really good.
Yeah.
And from the tracks out of the record, which ones are the ones for you playing that you're the most excited about playing them live in the upcoming tours you have?
I'm really excited about Native Blood, which is one of the first singles. Dark Roots of Earth, the title track. I'm excited about that because it's nice to have a slow song that's not a power ballad, but it's still a slow tune. So we haven't had a song like that in a long time. I like that. I really like some of the playing on that went down on the recording. I think the opening track, Rise Up, is going to be a great live one too. I'm looking forward to it. I think Chuck came up with a really great chorus on that.
I know you're working on a music video recently. When is that coming out?
A few weeks ago we shot this music video up in Hopland, California, at Chuck's Indian reservation, where his family is involved in running this Indian reservation, and that it involves tribal members and native dancers. It's going to be a really cool video. I believe that's going to be timed to coincide with the release of the album. So the album release date in the States is July 30th or 31st. You should be seeing the video right around now.
Now you know it. And Alex, with all these years you've been doing this, and of course there's always a pressure because it is Testament. You have a signature sound. You have a worldwide audience. How do you guys prepare? You know, like how is the thought process of Testament? Like when you're done with a record, which is right now, and when you're gearing up to go on tour, like for the next 2 years and present the songs to the world.
You don't really think about it. I think when we start, at the very beginning of a writing process, it's just a matter of listening to parts, listening to riffs, and okay, this one's pretty good, this one's pretty good. Well, and we see which ones stick with us and which ones we get excited about, which ones we stay excited about. And again, like I said earlier, it's very few that we stay excited about. Everybody's excited about. Chuck's remains, when it's time for him to do his thing, he's excited about. Usually, Eric or myself, we're both very excited when we have our initial parts. We want to present it to the rest of the guys, and we think it's great. But, it's that's because we came up with it.
But
getting it to across to the others is a whole other story. But we have a process and we have a way of doing things, and once it comes together, it seems to make sense. So we're in a very different mind frame when we're just starting an album than when we're finishing. Because then we've decided on the riffs, then it's more about arrangements and song length, what song's going to follow which on the album. It goes through so many different phases, and maybe you'll find that we don't have enough songs of a certain type. Maybe there aren't enough. Maybe there's too many fast songs. Maybe there aren't enough fast songs. Or maybe a thing with me, I like to hear different keys once in a while. So that's sort of a battle I fight. I try to throw in riffs from other keys and just make it, the obvious key is E, the low string of the guitar. But there's so much more to it than that. I think you can do so much more. At the same time, I know if we take it, if there's too many key changes, then it sounds like a progressive band. And I know it's not a progressive band. I know it has its sound. And I think very differently as a musician than everybody else in the band. But when I contribute to the band, I know it needs to sound like the band. And I have other projects I do where I can change all keys all I want, change meters, and be very harmonically sophisticated. But this is really about coming up with parts that work for this sound and what we've built upon so far.
with that said, since you're pretty much the most musical, let's say not necessarily the most musical person in the band, but you have all these different roots within jazz, and your roots are like in the acoustic guitar world. As far as when you guys sitting down doing the the production process with your producer, are you very involved with him, kind of like exchanging ideas? So
I make my suggestions. Yeah, they're not always listened to, and I'm not always right either. But I think I have made some suggestions that are kind of that are become big changes than how things would have been had I not made the suggestions. And it helps. I think we all have contributed in our own way. But I think the fact that I'm involved with musicians from outside of this world, and I know what the process is like. I can work with piano players and horn players and acoustic musicians, and the process isn't that different. Actually, there's a very similar thing that goes on, but I think just having the experience of working outside of the band really helps as far as being inside the band, because I just I might make suggestions in such a way that it's if you're only playing one style of music, I like to think outside the box. I like to try different things. It's one thing that I think has helped with this album. There was a lot more willingness to try things, and instead of arguing about how the idea will sound so much better if you do it my way. It's all part of the process. So people wonder, why does it take years? How come it's been, well, there's a lot of reasons, because it is a long process. It's an intense process. And in the meantime, we're so busy, touring, both in and outside of the band. So I'm just glad we've got it done, and it's ready.
Right, and as far as the touring plans, I know you have something already lined up with Anthrax and Death Angel. Is going to be the third session or the third episode of your tours together. And what else do you have planned? What is in the pipeline
in
for you
August,
guys?
we're going to be in Europe doing festivals, in Italy, the UK, the Netherlands, all over Europe. September, October, we have the Anthrax Death Angel tour. And then there are tour plans being worked on for November. It may be North America, it may be Europe. Again, we're not sure at this time.
What about South America, Australia, Asia?
I think that will all happen. That's probably all going to happen next year.
All right, Alex, so before we get out of here, it's obviously a very exciting time because the Dark Works of Earth is finally coming out after all these years. What do you think is setting Testament apart? Maybe not necessarily a recipe for success, but what do you think is what keeps the Testament fire going all these years?
I think the band I think everybody individually is sort of has their own personality. It's very different. Eric is this sort of riff master, black metal musician that he's developed into, which is great. Chuck Billy really has his sound now. I think he's had a lot of different sounds over the years, but he's really honed into a Chuck Billy sound. And I had time in the 90s and part of the O's to just really develop as the best musician I could be, and playing acoustic and jazz with professional musicians of these other genres. That experience was great to me. So when I came back for the reunion, it really, I felt like I was able to bring a lot more to it. I think I have a lot more personality as a musician, and I like being this diverse musician. So I've been able to become the diverse musician that I always wanted to be, that I wasn't able to be early on. So I think the combination of everybody's personalities being more defined and going into the band is what sets us apart. I think as far as what keeps us going, a big part of it is this feeling that, unlike some bands, we didn't totally know what we were doing the first time around. We learned a lot of lessons. Now we've had the chance to learn them, and all that experience is shaping what we do now, and we're able to really put that into the music. And there's also this whole new generation of fans out there, and we want to do what we do for them and give them the best show and the best album that we can.
I mean, absolutely. If you guys have the chance to come see Testament out, you haven't seen them out yet, go out there. I mean, I saw you obviously with different generations of the band, but right now you guys sound very, very tight, very solid. The big question that people have out there, what is this drummer situation? Is Gene going to be able to stay with the band? Because I know he has so many different projects, or...
Yeah, I mean, I think Gene's going to do most of the shows with us. It's worked out, so he's doing every show he can. There's going to be a few that he has to miss, but for the most part, yeah, he's going to be there.
And who's going to step in when he's not able to?
That I don't know. That's a department that's handled more by the other guys because they're on the West Coast and they deal more with the drummer rehearsals. I usually show up a few days before a tour and I have my parts down and we just take it from there.
And good to go. All right, Alex, I want to thank you for all the years of, Writing good music, man, period. Because I don't care what type, you said it before, not type what it is, keep doing it.
Yeah.
Do you have anything with the Alex Skolnick Trio going on? Or?
Yeah, I just played Mexico City at the National Center of the Arts. I was on the cover of their monthly brochure. So, National Center of the Arts is kind of like the Carnegie Hall of Mexico. And a lot of the performances they have are it's chamber music, ballet. So you look in this catalog, it's like very cultured and sophisticated music. And then there's me on the cover. So that was great. We're promoting our album Veritas, and I'm working that around the Testament schedule, And I'm doing a lot of other projects too. I'm also working on an acoustic world music project with musicians from all over the world. I'll have more information about that later. Right now I'm more focused on the New Testament album, but later in the year I'm going to have an announcement about my first acoustic project. And I have a book that's going to come out that I've written, just a sort of coming-of-age true story. And all the info's on my website, alexskolnick.com.
Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you guys for watching.
And of course, we can't forget the rest of the band.
That's right.
Make sure you pick up the record, The Dark Pursuits of Earth. Is coming out July 27th in Europe, then the 30th and 31st here in North America. We want to thank Muncie from Skateboard Marketing and everybody from Nuclear Blast Records. You know, there's so many good people in our industry, and that's what keeps us all going.
Yeah, we're lucky right now to be working with a bunch of great ones. So.
All right, right on.
Good.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you. But I think just after this much experience, I think it's a lot more solid.